in analysis of stresses we have two cases of loading. That is, you have two stages of loading, that is initial stage, or it's also called as a transfer stage, and final stage, that is when the application of the load. So you can see here, the initial stage, it means the transfer stage, it means just after the transfer of P force in the beam, that is after you have just passed the pre-stressing force, then such a stage is called as a initial stage. At that stage there won't be any live load acting, because we have just given the pre-stressing force, and it will be either in the pre-stressing bed, or it will be before application, or it will be having the scaffolding. The final stage means the stresses are to be found after the application of all load, which means it includes the dead load, live load, etc. Because the formwork has been removed and all the things has been removed, and we are seeing the stresses at that stage. So there are two stages, one is initial or transfer stage and final stage. And as I have said, in the initial stage there is no live load, so you need to consider, for the design purpose, you need to consider only the pre-stressing force as well as the dead load. In most of the cases dead load also won't be there, because it will be under the scaffolding, but still we will consider the dead load also in case of the transfer stage or initial stage. At the final stage, it is after application of all the finishes and all the pre-stressing force and all, there we need to see the dead load as well as live load, and in the initial stage whatever force we are giving, that is whatever initial force we are giving, that will be considered. There is no loss of pre-stress at transfer. That is, if you are having a beam like this, I am taking a cross section at the end, anchorage end, I am taking the cross section, you are having the tendons like this, so this is the anchorage. This was the total delta L I had. This was the total delta elongation I had. Due to some losses, I will tell you the losses in the upcoming classes. That is, it can be the friction loss, it can be the relaxation of steel. Some delta L elongation we will lose. This much delta L elongation we will lose. So this delta L elongation that we lose is called as the loss in pre-stress. So at the transfer stage or at the initial stage, we will not consider the loss. That is, we will assume that whole delta L is achieved. This small delta L is achieved. But at the final stage, after application of all the dead load, and after all the anchorages are being fixed, we will consider the P force, that is your pre-stressing force, after deducting all the losses. That is, at the final stage there will be some losses happen to this initial pre-stressing force. നമ്മളിപ്പോൾ 100 kilonewton of initial pre-stressing force കൊടുത്തിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ, at the final stage, that is after when it is being installed in the real life, real stage or real purpose, there won't be 100, there will be somewhat 80 or 70 only, because there has occurred some losses in your pre-stress. For a T-beam shown in figure, simply supported over a span of 12 meter, it is subjected to a live load 60 kilonewton per meter. The area of pre-stressing steel is 2000 mm square with an initial pre-stressing force of 1300 Newton per millimeter square. The loss of pre-stress is taken as 20%. I will tell you how to calculate this, how much loss has occurred in the upcoming classes. For time being, you understand there has been some loss, and that percentage of loss that had occurred is 20% of the initial pre-stressing force. Calculate the stresses at midspan and at different stages of loading. You can see, calculate the stresses at the midspan at different stages. Different stages means what? As we have discussed, there are two stages, that is the initial stage and final stage. So initial stage, you need to consider only the dead load and the pre-stressing force, and the final stage you need to consider all the forces, but there will be some reduction in your pre-stressing force due to the loss of pre-stress. So can we do this numerical? Is it fine? Is it okay? So some of the basics we are going to do is your engineering mechanics. You are going to find the centroid of this. It is given the flange width is 700 mm, the flange thickness, this is called as the flange thickness is 200, the depth of the web is 700, the width of the web is 400, and the eccentricity is given as 200 mm. So here you have the eccentricity from the bottom only, isn't it? You have the eccentricity from the bottom. So you need to find the centroid of this. Again, you need to find the moment of inertia, all those things you need to find, because stress at the top and bottom, if I am writing, we will need to start it like this. You have the thing like this. So you need to first find the eccentricity E, right? You need to find the eccentricity E. Eccentricity E means you need to find the neutral axis, right? Then only you can find the eccentricity, isn't it? Suppose this is my eccentricity, then sorry, neutral axis, then this is your small e eccentricity we have discussed, isn't it? First we need to find the centroid of this given section. So in order to find the centroid, we will consider an axis from the top. We will consider the axis from here. From the axis y axis, we need to find the centroid. You have your y bar is equal to a1 y1 plus a2 y2 divided by a1 plus a2, right? So the total area, I'll take it as A is equal to A1 plus A2. I'll get it as, I'll divide this into two sections. There is one, this is 1 and this is 2. So I have A1 is equal to 700 into 200 plus 700 into 400. Is it okay? Is it fine? You'll get this value as mm square. So that is the total area of this. Now you can find the value for your y bar. Y bar is equal to what? Y bar is equal to A1, that is 700 into 200 into y1. We are considering from the top, so y1 is 100 plus 700 into 400 into y2 is what? 200 plus 350. 200 plus 350 divided by A1 plus A2, that is 42. Y bar is 400 mm, right? So this is 400 mm from the top, right? So this value is 400 mm from the top, which means from the bottom the total is 900. So from the bottom you will get it as 500 mm. From the bottom it is, so I can write this value y bar t, yt is equal to 400 mm and yb is equal to 500 mm. Is it clear? Yeah, I hope everyone has got this. Now you need to find the moment of inertia. So in order to find the moment of inertia, go to your basics. That is, you have the moment of inertia, I is equal to what? B dq by 12 plus a h bar square. So here I have divided this into two, 1 and 2 figure. You can do it separately. You can find the value. Somehow you can find the value. It's up to you. So when I am doing it, I'll just write it. You just go through whether you are getting the same value. I'll write for the first one, I is equal to B dq by 12. Here B is 700, D is 200, cube divided by 12 plus A. A is 700 into 200 into H bar. H bar is the distance from the centroid to the centroid of the whole figure consider. So I have the centroid of this over here, H1 bar, and the centroid of this is somewhere here, H2 bar. So H1 bar I will get it as, from here it is 400 minus 100, that is I will get it as plus. Now figure number 2, that is having B is 400 into 700 cube divided by 12 plus 400 into 700, that is the area, into 500 minus 350 the whole square is 3.08 into 10 raised to 10. 3.08 into 10 raised 10 millimeter raised 4, right? So you got the value for your I and this. Now you are given the area of steel. You are given the area of steel used as 2000 mm square and the initial pre-stress, that is 1300 Newton per mm square. So from here you will get the from here you will get the initial pre-stressing force. You will get the initial pre-stressing force P naught is equal to what? Area of steel into pre-stress, that is 2000 into 1300. This you will get it as 2600 kilonewton. So that is your initial pre-stressing force. Okay, so this is the initial pre-stressing force you have applied. From there you got it here. Is it fine? Is it fine? Now tell me, what is the eccentricity of the application of this pre-stressing force? Eccentricity of application means this E. What will be this E? Eccentricity of application of this pre-stressing force. E, I can write it as from the centroidal to the place or the placement of this reinforcement, that is I have 500 minus 200 that is 300 mm. So the eccentricity E is equal to 300 mm. We are applying the eccentricity, or the eccentricity provided is 300 mm. Now we need to calculate the moment generated due to the dead load. Dead load is given. We need to find the dead load as well as the live load. So in order to calculate the dead load, we need to do the load calculation, right? Dead load, what is the dead load here? That is the area into the density. For this cross sectional area for 1 meter length will give you the volume for 1 meter into density of the concrete, that is 25. You'll get the area, right? Sorry, you'll get the total load. So I can take it as, you have the total area as 42 mm square into 10 raised to minus 6 will give you meter into 25 kilonewton per meter, isn't it? That is 10.5 kilonewton per meter, and the live load is given as 60 kilonewton per meter. So I can write the dead load moment 189 kilonewton meter. ML is 1080. So you got all the moments. Now we will go for the stress calculation. So it is being asked to calculate the stress at the midspan at different stages of loading. So we had found the moment at the midspan, and due to the dead load and live load. Now we are going to find the stresses at different stages. So first we will find the stress at transfer stage or initial stage. So you have here, you have T-beam like this. The eccentricity we have taken it as, or the neutral axis you have somewhere here 300 mm. So if I am drawing this section at this side, you can see here this section is like this, and the pre-stressing force P naught at a distance of 300 mm. So it's like this. So due to this, there is the first one, that is your direct stress, right? It is going to get compressed, and the direct stress I can write it as this completely compressive. This direct stress I can write it as positive, that is P by A. Is that fine? Is that fine? Now the next one is, due to this pre-stressing force and eccentricity, there will be a bending stress occurring, and the bending stress will be like this, right? Bending stress will be tension at the top and compression at the bottom. So if I am drawing here, the tension will be at the top. So we will take the tension as negative. The tension will be at the top, and the compression will be at the bottom. So here this is negative and this is positive, and here the value is P. This is P naught by A. Okay, so that is P naught into E into, at the top it will be YT divided by I, and at the bottom I can write as P naught into E into YB divided by I. Isn't it? Is it okay up to here for students? Now I have the stress due to my dead load, isn't it? At the transfer stage I have the stress due to my dead load, and due to dead load this is going to deflect like this, which means the compression is at the top and tension is at the bottom. So if I am drawing here, the tension will be at the bottom and the compression will be at the top, and this is positive and this is negative, and here I will get it the value as moment md into yt by I, and here it is md into yb by I. So these three are the stresses, isn't it? These three are the stresses. Now should I consider the live load moment, live load stress? Should I consider that? No. At the initial stage you don't need to consider the live load. The thing you need to consider is take care is you don't need to consider the live load stress. Also you need to consider the pre-stressing force at its fullest. So if I am writing these values, first write this value, that is at top. If I am writing at top fibers, we have the pre-stressing force as at top it is P by A minus P naught by A minus P naught into E into YT by I plus MD into YT divided by I. Can you tell me this value? What is YT? YT is, so this value will get it as 6.19 minus 10.13 plus 2.45. So have we got up to here? Yes, minus 1.49. Look at this as minus 1.49 Newton per mm square. That is at the top. So you are getting slight amount of tensile stress at the top, and considering at the bottom you have P naught by A plus this is YB divided by I minus MD into YB divided by I. So you need to calculate it again, 6.19 plus P naught into E into YB. YB value is 500. Divide by 400 into 500. You just need to do that. You'll get this value as 12.66, isn't it? 12.66 minus this is 2.45 into 3.068. So this value will get it as 15.783 Newton per mm square. This is this. So if I am drawing the net diagram, I will be getting minus 1.45 and 15.8378. So here, if I am drawing here, I am having at the top, I am having small tensile stress, and at the bottom I am having compressive stress. This is minus 1.49. This value is 1.49 Newton per mm square, and this value I will get it as 15.783 Newton per mm square. Don't need to worry that you have got a negative value or the tensile stress value. We will consider that. We will tell you how to overcome those things. Okay. So this is at the transfer stage. Similarly, the next one is at the final stage. At the final stage, if I am writing at the final stage, if I am writing, I need to consider the dead load and live load. Also, I need to consider the loss that has happened to the pre-stressing force. So the pre-stressing force at the final stage, I can write it all. The pre-stressing force will be what? At the final stage, the pre-stressing force is what? Pre-stressing force is equal to, I have the initial pre-stressing force into, there occurred 20% loss, right? There occurred how much? There was 20% loss, so only remaining is there. So if 20% loss means what? Only 0.8 is remaining from the initial. Only 0.8 is remaining. So initial point from 20% loss has occurred. So it is P naught into 0.8. I'll get this value as 2600 into 0.8. So only this much force is now remaining as pre-stressing force at the time of loading, or at the time when the live load is acting on the structure. Yes, so now if I am drawing the stress at different stages, the direct stress, it will be plus P by, is it plus P by A or is it plus P naught by A? If I am taking this as P, final pre-stressing force, it is, if I am taking the final pre-stressing force as P, then it is P by A, right? Isn't it? We'll consider only 2080. There is some loss, there has some loss occurred, so it is only 2080, right? So I will consider first at the top fiber. At top fiber the direct stress is there, then due to your pre-stressing force, that is P into E, you have your pre-stressing force P into E, you have the deflection, or the shape will be like this, that is tension and compression at the bottom. So if I am drawing here, there is minus plus, there is P into E into Yt divided by I, and here P into E into Yb divided by I. This I'll consider for the whole. Okay, sorry, we'll draw it for the whole. Now we need to consider the dead load also, but there won't be any change in the dead load because the pre-stressing force is not being considered when we are there is no effect of this pre-stressing force for the bending stress due to the dead load moment. So if I am drawing here, due to dead load, it is going to deflect like this, compression, tension at the bottom. So md into Yt divided by I, and here md into Yb divided by I. Now in this stage you need to consider one more, that is your moment due to your, or the stress due to your live load, right? That is also same as that of your dead load moment. This is negative and this is positive, and this is ml into Yt divided by I, and here it is ml into Yb divided by I. So find these values, that is P by A value, P into E into Yb by I value, md into Yb by I value. I'll just write those values here. 4.592 Newton per mm square. This Yt value here you will get it as 8.10. This value you will get it as, we have already got this value, that is 2.45, and this moment stress due to bending stress due to this dead load, you will get live load, you will get as 14.025. Similarly at the bottom you will get this value as 10.128. this is 3.068, and this value you get it as 17.53. 17.53. You may check this because it's just calculation, you may check it, and final result, stress at top, you will get nearly 13.33 Newton per mm square, and stress at bottom you will get nearly minus 5.518 Newton per mm square. So you can see here at the end, this is 13.33, and at the bottom you got a tensile stress of 5.518, but this tensile stress will be easily taken by the concrete because we are using high strength concrete. For the final, at the stages, you will get in this way, that is at the top it will be compression, at the bottom it will be tension. This value is 13.33 Newton per mm square at the top and 5.518 Newton per mm square at the bottom. So this is the final stress value at the transfer stage. So this is the very basics of your pre-stressing, because based on this concept, that is how what stress is coming at the top fiber and bottom fiber, we will be proceeding to the other topics also. So if you haven't understood this, please make it clear, and then only we can move on to the next topics. That's why you can practice it. I'll give you enough amount of questions to practice this. So I hope you are clear. Please find these answer which you have got here, and we will see with the recorded videos in the next week, Tuesday. We'll start with the losses in pre-stress and some other questions for practicing I'll give you. Is that fine? Is it okay? So you can leave. Those who have any doubt, you can stay here. Others can leave. Thank you.